Welcome back in another episode of NBA 2K14. In the last episode, it's down to the wire in a close game by 1 point. You saw, and as you can see, the Dawson Debris continue for trigger buttons. Just check out some view box score. The Mavericks beat the Clippers in a 1 point win down to the wire after he keeps stealing by Jamar Crawford and Chris Paul even. Jamar Crawford got 38 points. Chris Paul got 19 and 20. That was almost 20-point mark. And the other hand, Blake Griffin 60 points. And Matt Barnes 15 points. And keep in mind that Dawson Debris, he's still trigger button. On the other hand, try to show the Dallas Mavericks score because the trigger button is so moving and annoying. So check out right here the Dallas Mavericks. So we got, and they have, as you can see, unable to move. There we go. So we got Dirk Nowitzki 32 points and 10 assists. Monte Ellis got 29. Sean Merritt got 17. Vince Carter got 16. And Devin Harris got 12 and 12. And Delonte West at 11. So the rest of this for Mavericks, that was a close victory by 1 point over the Clippers. That should be interesting here in LA. And now we got our first two matchups here. We're on their way to downtown Indianapolis. We got our Eastern Conference rivalry featuring Carmelo Anthony and J.R. Smith of the New York Knicks take on Paul George and Danny Granger of the Indiana Pacers. And we're gonna use last time, the Knicks gonna use control, but this time Pacers gonna use the control this time around. And that'll do it for now. This is Andre Kenshin for this game, not used for yellow shirts for the Pacers instead of white. This game is gonna use the Knicks, gonna use the blue, and Pacers gonna use the white. And that'll do it for now. This is Andre Kenshin. We'll be right back after this. Enjoy the video at the Bankers Life Fields in Indianapolis, and now we are sending over to Kevin Harlan here at Bankers Life Fields in Indianapolis. Anyways, let's get started. Enjoy the video right now. Here we go.
Welcome to 2K Sports. I'm glad to have you with us for NBA basketball. It's Thursday night basketball. It's going to be the New York Knicks up against the Indiana Pacers. And let's send things courtside to Kevin Harlan, who's in Indianapolis, ready to call the game.
The crowd has assembled in Indianapolis, Indiana, looking for a Pacers win today. And we've got it for you right here on 2K Sports. Now a chance to check out tonight's starting lineups. And breaking down the game, let's take a look here at Tyson Chandler.
And he's a screen setter, Kevin. It's something that's very underrated, but you watch him. If you lock in on him, you'll see all the screens he sets, ball screens, lateral screens away from the basketball. He's got them all down, and then he's got the ability also to roll to the rim and finish.
And something else he does that might not wind up in the stat sheet, but is still a big part of his game, his leadership defensively. Collectively, they're a much better team when he's on the floor.
Last game for the Pacers, they pick up the W against Sacramento.
Yeah, and in the end, it wasn't even close. I mean, they had points coming from all over the floor.
Boy, they were locked in and ready to roll, and offensively, they just had a rhythm that was impressive.
And it's Stoudemire with the jam.
I tell you what, you got to love his aggressiveness finishing inside. Like that.
Well, his leaping ability, Clark, gives him a great advantage.
And that's why they look to get him the ball around the rim. I mean, it feels like it's either a dunk or a foul and a couple of free throws every possession.
And you talk about Frank Vogel, guys, and the Pacers. It seemed he won over his roster from the moment he took over. He placed a lot of confidence and trust in his players, and most importantly, brought a breath of positivity and positive energy to that locker room and to that team.
Hill gets to George. Good. It's hit back at the assist. George has got his first 3 points of the game.
He's such a well-rounded offensive player. He's got a little bit of everything.
Outside Anthony. Shoots it. Chandler trying to free himself up. And there's another one for the Knicks. And back to Vogel, he really helped instill the identity of this Pacers team of toughness and defense. And Steve, that willingness to battle.
That's a perfect fit with their personnel. The way he motivates this team to defend and play with that edge. I just love this group, the Pacers team, the talent, along with Frank Vogel. Just a really nice fit.
And here is Anthony. George Hill getting it to go from deep. It's blocked. Here's George. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
Well, you look at Paul George, my man, PG 24, the young swingman out of Fresno State. Boy, he had a terrific year last season, was the most improved player last season, and a first-time NBA All-Star. You consider how young he is. Just turned 23, and he's got the potential to make plenty more All-Star games. And I think he could ultimately be a Defensive Player of the Year sometime in his career.
He used that pick just right.
And they're nearly perfect from the floor early on. 4 of their first 5 shots they've drained.
Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Well, Mike Woodson gave me a moment to catch up with him. We talked about David West and what makes him such a tough player to defend. Coach said, West is special because he's so skilled for a player of his size and strength. He can score inside and also spread the floor with his shooting. He can have a quiet night and still drop 20 and 10. So we've got to stay conscious of him at all times. Guys, we'll see how they do against him.
Thank you, Doris. And for Paul George, the 10th pick back in 2010. What a terrific find for the Pacers.
Well, he was already a good player, but I think the injury to Danny Granger last season created the opportunity for George to really emerge as an all-star. And that's exactly what he did. Dangerous inside and out, excellent defensive player. Has a chance to be really special.
And here is Felton. George Hill getting it to go from deep. Chandler covered by Hibbert. Chandler's shot good.
Ran his man straight into that screen to open the lane up for the hoop.
Granger dishes to Hill. From deep, George. Good. It's Hill picking up the assist. Hill's got his 3rd assist on the night.
That's now a dozen straight points coming off wide open 3-pointers.
You know what it looks like to me out there, guys? I mean, it looks like All-Star Weekend out there. We know how much defense is going to is. Actually, defense during the All-Star Weekend, no D. Guys, that's simply superb. Ball pressure or run out. And then a dunk in transition.
Exactly, Clark, what they want to be. Aggressive defense to lead to.
Yeah, points in transition.
Yeah, that's why you want to make the other team feel uncomfortable handling the ball because you can get easy points out of it at the other end.
A feather touch on the finger roll. Beautiful. And it's 7 points for Carmelo Anthony.
That finish brings me back to the old days. The silky smooth finger roll.
For the Knicks, Bargnani is checked in for Chandler. Martin comes in for Amari Stoudemire. And it's a non-jumper in for Carmelo Anthony. And the basket by Hill.
So the only tough part of that basket for him was getting into such good position. The rest of it seemed easy.
Well, guys, for the Pacers, it's been a slow and long climb from the Malice at the Palace back in '04. But now, with a terrific young team, fresh off a strong showing in the Eastern Conference Finals, we can finally say the Pacers are back, and they're going to be around for a while, contending for championships.
Here's George after the made shot from Hardaway. George passes to Stoll. Makes it off the glass.
Another nice bucket down low. They've really been able to work the ball into the post effectively so far.
Yeah, I think that could really set things up well the rest of the game. Pound the ball inside and then let your perimeter players play off your bigs.
Here's Hardaway after Luis Scolas scored. And that one's good. Bargnani's got his first 2 points. And for the Pacers, ever since that unfortunate night in Detroit, the attendance in Indiana has sagged. They've been at the bottom half percentage-wise, Steve, for the last 9 years.
Well, it's time for the fans to come back, Kevin. This is an elite team. They've got really high character, good guys. Ticket prices are about 60% less than the league norm. one of the best arenas in the NBA, and hey, it's Indiana. I mean, this is a basketball state. Boy, this game is off to a terrific start.
No doubt. On both sides, high-octane offense.
And here's Hill for three, and the Pacers another three.
Oh, the rapid-fire threes coming from everywhere.
I thought it might be a little imprudent to try to get those points right back, but it worked.
And Bargnani again. Bargnani's got his second basket of the game. Oh, we've seen some great shots in the first quarter. No shortage of offense. Pacers out in front. They're up by 6. And we'll be back with you for the start of the second quarter when we return.
Coming up next Monday night, January 20th, Paul George and the Indiana Pacers go up against Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors. Don't miss out.
And now the second quarter just getting set to start. In a moment. Now to quickly take a look at the offensive approach for the Pacers.
Now, they didn't waste any time getting into a groove out there. They're dialed in from long range.
They've been distributing the ball really well tonight, too. I mean, a decent number of assists so far for them.
Here are the 5 New York has to start here in the second. They've got Martin. Abo Prigioni is out there with Hardaway. Then there's Amon Shumpert, and it's tight in at the 5. For the New York Knicks, they come in off a good outing against the Bobcats in Charlotte.
They look very stable, pretty much from the get-go, guys. A solid output, solid effort. You know, sometimes you'll see some inconsistencies come up in a road game, but they were pretty solid there.
I was very impressed with the balance they displayed, guys. Different people carrying the load, scoring, making assists, unselfish play. Everything was working for them to get that victory.
And the defense fouling there to prevent that layup, forcing 2 free throws here.
Nice job that time of attacking the paint and drawing the contact. They'll take that. Chris Copeland, a 28-year-old rookie with the Knicks last season, originally from New Jersey. He played collegiately in Colorado and found his NBA opportunity after playing some years in Europe.
He doesn't need to fade away on that move. He can go straight up, make it an easier shot.
And Prigioni kicks to Hardaway. On the wing, Shumpert. Yes, and it's Hardaway picking up the assist. 6 points for Amon Shumpert.
I like the offensive awareness to exploit that lack of coverage on that play.
And Copeland, Clark, more than serviceable coming off the bench last season. How did you think of his performance with the Knicks?
Well, he played awfully well down the stretch, had a couple of big games in the playoffs as well. But what I like about him is the floor spacing that he provides. His three-point shooting is really strong, but he's long and he's got a good body. He should be able to guard multiple positions.
Granger drives in. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. Pushing 2.
Yeah, he absorbed the foul and had a chance to knock it down.
And that's all you can ask right there. I like that play.
First trip to the line for him here. The free throw drops for Granger. Tyson Chandler is checked in for New York. Stoudemire comes in for Tim DeMarco.
Well, you can count on him, can't you? He seems to knock down free throws consistently all game long.
Now, here's Felton. He's covered by Watson. And the shot is good. And that's now 9 points for Carmelo Anthony.
Well, when you think about instant offense, his name comes to mind immediately. It doesn't take much for him to get it going and run off a string of buckets.
You know, something else with him, you can't forget about his skill as a pull-up shooter. I mean, you give him too much room and he won't hesitate for a second to raise up and spray you with that J.
Passes it to Stevenson. Hands it from downtown. Stevenson's got 6 in the quarter.
Beautiful feed off the bounce to his teammate there. Nicely done.
Felton gets to Smith. Felton sets a screen for Smith. From past the arc. And Anthony with the basket on the assist by Smith. That's 12 points for Carmelo Anthony.
You know, he's knocking down his shots today, but it hasn't really translated to the scoreboard yet.
Good defense, but you gotta love the finish with the finger roll over the top.
Knicks trail by 8. Felton kicks to Smith. Outside for Felton. pulls it from the elbow. And there's another one for the Knicks.
You know, he's got a quick trigger from that range, and he senses that the defense has backed off.
And some changes here for the Pacers. Hill, he's checked in for Granger. Paul George comes in for Lance Stevenson. And George Hill's subbed in for C.J. Watson. Outside, George, Indiana moving the ball over. And the Pacers another three.
The D with very little pressure on their perimeter shooters. 3 of the last 5 baskets they've allowed have been of the three-point variety.
Yeah, and unless they make some rotations and closeouts defensively, there's more to come, Clark.
Great open look there. 1:53 left in the first half. Here's Hill, and again it's Indiana.
Finding the open man every trip down the floor.
Certainly seems like he's doing that, Steve. I mean, it's been a great passing day for him.
Well, small forwards that can rebound the ball, such an asset to any team in the NBA. With now a look at the top rebounding wingman, Carmelo Anthony, 4th.
You know, the work they do on the boards is such a big part of all these players' games. They play much bigger than the grand majority of small forwards in this league.
And I think it's an area that they all take pride in, Steve. They know they can score. That's expected of their position. But where you separate yourself is going after rebounds. And these guys are really determined to excel in that part of the game. In his return to New York, I tell you, Raymond Felton looked to have his best season yet as a pro. He came in and made plays and filled the void left at the point guard spot for the Knicks.
Smith outside. It's Carmelo Anthony on the wing. Outside, Felton. He feeds it to Smith. And that comes off the assist by Raymond Felton. Felton has got his 4th assist with that last one here tonight. And for Felton, I guess, just something in the water in New York. Steve, he's played his best basketball in the big city.
Yeah, he had a good run there several years back before he was traded to Denver as part of that Carmelo Anthony trade. And now that he's back in New York, Felton once again having a terrific impact on that team.
Hill, no good.
That was almost a highlight reel play, but they couldn't quite sync up.
Feeds to Felton. Down low, here's Anthony. Somehow ignores the tight D and gets the layup. Anthony's got 7 now in this quarter.
Well, offensively, he's taken a solid opening quarter and just built on it here in the second.
Pacers leading by 6. There's 25 seconds left to play in the first half. D2 from Hill. And a little luck that time, but it drops. Hill's got 10 points. Hill against Felton. Anthony off the pick from Stoudemire. And again, it's Carmelo Anthony. 16 points for him.
Boy, they keep hammering away at him inside, forcing that ball into the paint. Smash mouth basketball.
Yeah, it's a strategy that has served them well in this opening half part. Now, severe lack of awareness on his part. He had no idea he was near the out-of-bounds line.
Here's Udrich. No good. And we've reached halftime in this one. Pacers lead by 6. We've got more NBA basketball coming your way in just a minute.
Now, presented by Sprint. It's Thursday night in the NBA, and from the 2K Sports Studios, this is the Halftime Report. The Pacers have been rolling along. They're actually looking to push their current winning streak to 5. Paul George just having his way against New York. How's that for a shooting percentage? 100. Yes, 100% from the court. Not too bad. And a resilient Knicks team staying in it. Points in the paint, definitely in their favor. They've stayed in attack mode down low. Carmelo Anthony has had himself an amazing start. His shooting percentage off the charts right now. He's got the magic touch from the field, no question about it. NBA action just getting started here. Some games coming up a little bit later on tonight. The Brooklyn Nets will go up against the Hawks out in Atlanta. There's going to be some excitement in the arena for that one. 8 p.m. Eastern, that one gets started. And another game that's coming up, the Rockets out in Houston will go up against the Thunder. Two teams sitting on top of their divisions. It's an 8:30 Eastern time for a tip-off out there. And that's all we got for you here in the studio. Time to send you back out to Kevin, Steve, Clark, and Doris. to the start of the second half.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint. Welcome back, folks. Thank you for tuning in to the NBA on 2K Sports as we get set to get going once again. Hey, during the break, players getting a chance to refuel and hydrate with some Gatorade as there is more basketball in store.
What a great game for Anthony in this one. He's got 16 points, and he's knocked down a pair of three-pointers in this game, too.
Well, they might want to think about setting a few more screens for him to try to give him another open look or two.
Granger and West at the forward spots. George Hill at the 1, Paul George at the 2, and it's Hibbert in at the 5 spot. So that's the group out there for Indiana. Pacers leading by 3. On the wing, Granger from deep. And it's cool. Granger's got 10 points.
Fantastic pass. He turned that one into a pretty easy basket for his teammate.
And Stoudemire slams it in.
Solid on the one-hand throw down there.
You know, Clark, when it's a tight ball game like this, he's the guy they want with the ball.
Yep. Yeah, you got that right, Kevin. He's such a reliable finisher.
Tell you what, guys, if you had questions about Amari's willingness to play a role on the team, you should have put them all to rest with how he came off the bench for the Knicks. Couldn't have been easy for him, but he handled it well.
Felton against Hill. Felton dishes to Smith. And the bucket counts, and he's on his way to the free throw line. Trying to make it a three-point play.
Nothing but money for him to start the half. They've made all 3 of their shot attempts.
Well, with Amari's dealing with those knee troubles, Mike Forgetti was really the one who first made the Knicks a destination.
Yeah, signing there in free agency in 2010. He had a huge season, averaged 25 points a game. I think really energized that New York fan base. He was kind of the franchise player before Carmelo arrived.
And the foul goes on Roy Hibbert. That's his first foul. Indiana on D. Stoudemire goes in. Offensive rebound. There's the bucket. Good.
Boy, what a great job making good on the second opportunity. He stayed with that play from start to finish. Here's a look at some stats for Carmelo Anthony. An incredible last month for him. You see where he stands. Second in blocks, 10th in steals, and he's in the top 15 in points per game. So he's a guy you have to account for defensively.
And of the numbers you tossed out there, Steve, I think his block ranking may be the most impressive to me. I mean, that's some rugged defense this guy's been playing. They're going back to the three-point shot over and over and over.
That was the 9th straight point from behind the arc, Clark. It feels like they're finding the holes in this defense.
Right back to the basics there, using the one-hand slam for that.
Doesn't he make the basics look pretty exceptional?
Yeah, he does. They look sweet when he does it.
Well, he should stay with those basics in a tight ball game because we've got one here tonight.
Granger passes to Hibbert. Shot clock at 5. And the shot counts. He's fouled. It's a chance for a three-point play.
For a big man with very soft hands and a nice touch around the hoop.
The Knicks making the switch here. Stevenson's checked in.
Well, coaches love him because of the hustle he's continually showing out on the floor. And I think where you really see it most is on the offensive boards.
And something else you can't forget about is his shot blocking, Steve. I mean, he's an intimidator down low.
He dishes it to Tyler. And it's good, assisting on the play with Hardaway. Hardaway has got 3 assists now in this one.
Boy, they are just destroying them in the paint.
You could say that again, Steve. The defenders just aren't aggressive enough down low.
Soft touch off the glass. And now just a 2-point Indiana lead.
This game has taken on a new feel since halftime.
For sure. The energy level on both sides has gone way up after the break.
Hibbert hits the bucket. Hibbert's got 5 men. For New York, they've gotten nearly everything to drop this quarter. They're 7 of 8 from the floor since halftime. Outside Hardaway. Fires for 3. Gets it to go. Hardaway has got 5 points now this quarter.
And they've set up countless buckets off assists. That's a huge part of what they've been doing here today.
A lot of dime dropping going on out there, Steve.
Granger for the 3. New York's gone 6 of 7 from long range tonight. They've been on fire from way outside.
Well, guys, with the Knicks playing a space-the-floor pick-and-roll offensive scheme, I mean, Tyson Chandler is a hand-in-glove fit as the high-flying finisher inside, keeping defenses honest and then cleaning up the mess on the weak side board and shots and hits.
We've got an injury on the floor. Very unfortunate as always, guys. I don't like to see this.
Injuries are such a difficult part of this game.
And from a glance, you really can't tell just how bad it is, but he's going to come out and we'll find out now how bad it is. He may be done for the game.
Udrih, a finger roll finish at the bucket. And Clark, you talked about what Chandler has meant for this Knicks team, both on the court and in the locker room. And you want to know if Dallas and Steve had to do over, do you think they would have tried harder to re-sign him?
Well, I understood the plan. Dallas felt like with Dirk Nowitzki getting older, they had to save that cap room for a superstar, maybe Dwight Howard or Chris Paul. But it's always easy in hindsight when those things don't happen to say, hey, what were you doing?
The shot's good from Stoudemire. Stoudemire's got 10 points in the game.
You got to love the big bucket in the paint in this sort of grinded-out physical game.
Yeah, that was your game, Clark. Pound it inside and take the ball right to the defense.
That's what I tried to do, man. I knew my limitations.
And Udrih kicks to Shumpert. Knocks it loose. George dishes to Watson. That's good. And the Pacers lead by 3.
Even with the D lurking, he made it look easy with the soft finger roll.
Smith drives in and Schroeder with the block. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Knicks will retain possession. Here's Smith. Good on the shot. Smith's got 5 points now in the quarter.
Well, I'll tell you what, the defenders didn't even get a sniff of him on that move to the hoop.
Gets it to go. Guys, we're not through 3 quarters of play, but 6 lead changes already in this one.
Yeah, it's been a really good game for sure. I mean, it looks like it's going to stay tight throughout.
Yeah, very competitive action. I agree with you, Clark. I mean, this one could come down to the last few minutes the way it looks.
And we've reached the end of the third quarter. Just a terrific game so far. Knicks out front, up by 1. And we're coming back in just a moment. Get ready for the fourth quarter of action when we return.
Coming up next Monday, January 20th, Kobe Bryant and the Los Angeles Lakers take on Derrick Rose and the Chicago Bulls. It's East and West. You don't want to miss it.
All right, the fourth quarter of action getting underway. We've had a great one so far with both sides coming to play. And guys, what do you think about the offensive approach so far that we've seen for New York?
Well, they're taking high percentage shots in the paint. I like the way their offense is clicking.
They've also jumped on any opportunity they've had to attack the basket tonight. I mean, excellent penetration.
On the court for the Knicks. Out of the wings, it's the feisty pair of Melo and Shumpert. Bargnani is out there with Martin. Then it's Felton in at the 1.
Unstoppable offense from both teams. I love the pace this game has been played at.
So does everybody else in the building. This has been a fun one.
Textbook right there. Nice pass, great catch, beautiful finish.
There's Smith, and that comes off the assist by Raymond Felton. 18 points for J.R. Smith. Johnson kicks to Hill. Drains it from beyond the arc.
And we've seen a few mix-ups defensively out there on the perimeter.
More than a few. I mean, the open looks they've allowed from long range have turned into a lot of points.
Hibbert the pass to Hill. 60 seconds off the clock here in the fourth. Johnson for three. The shot is off. The Knicks go the other way with it. Last time they met in New York.
You know, so often in the NBA we talk about how you have to earn your points the hard way, but it didn't seem like that was the case. Everything came pretty easily.
Too many of their points came the easy way, Steve. You're right. On dunks and layups against a defense that didn't really put up much resistance.
And Stevenson's checked in for Orlando Johnson.
And when Melo attacks off the dribble, I think that's when he's really at his best. He's got excellent ball handling skills and footwork for a player of his size. And whether putting the ball in his hands in the pick and roll or just isoing it in that pinch post area, he is very tough to defend when he gets ahead of steam down.
It's handled by Stevenson. And a closer look here at the Hustle stance for the Pacers.
Defensively, they've played with a high energy level, guys, and all the steals we've seen, really a result of that aggressiveness.
You know, adding to that, Steve, you look at their block totals tonight, and you see how feisty they've been on the defensive end this game.
Amari Stoudemire is checked in for New York. They double him with West. Here's Smith. Great touch on the 16-footer. Smith's got 20 points. And for Carmelo, attacking the rim makes a lot of sense. His three-point shot has been streaky over the years. But it looks like he's always trying, Steve, to diversify his offense.
So I think he needs to attack more often. He can settle for threes. Sometimes he has a tendency to do that. But he's so strong and so quick that I think he's best suited when he really attacks the hole and gets to the foul line.
Here's Granger, and again it's Indiana converting.
So it seems like when they've gone to him, he's really come through, and that's not something they should get away from.
Ball's not loose. It's stolen by Hill. West kicks to Hill. Hammers it on the polish off the...
Steal, active feet on the fast break.
And Clark power on the dunk.
Guys, this is just too close of a game to be giving the ball up like that and then failing to get back in transition.
And Hibbert with the block. Stevenson with it. Again, Indiana.
I think they're trying to go for the kill here. I mean, they're starting to take a lot more three-point shots than they have been before, looking to run away.
Yeah, and that's fine as long as you're making them, but make sure you don't start launching bad shots. That's a problem.
We're in the final quarter of play here. 3 minutes in. Felton goes in. He gets the shot to fall, and the defender wasn't set. He's called for the block and a three-point play chance here. And he was fouled in the act of shooting. Chance here now for a three-point play.
Well, he earned that one. Took the hit and still found a way to knock it down.
Yeah, fantastic body control. And the will to get it done. You like that focus.
And Indiana making a change here. George is checked in. And let's get this update now from George. Brooklyn's across the way on the sideline.
Hey guys, well Mike Woodson had some advice for the team over that last break. He gave his guys the green light to keep firing from downtown, telling them, listen, I like the work. You're doing out there. Keep finding those gaps on the perimeter. They're giving us open shots.
Thanks, Doris. No stopping him there. Jams it in as he's fouled. Just out for a three-point play. one's on Anthony.
He gives that rim a good tug on the way down.
That's how you drive your point home.
Yeah, but he got a little lucky getting away with it. That could have very easily been called a technical foul.
Look at the clock. A little under 3.5 minutes gone here in the fourth. Felton kicks to Smith. And that one's good. Smith's got 13 points in the second half.
He is setting this place on fire, fellas. This shooting has been off the charts.
Hibbert, he's guarded by Chandler. And George kicks to Hill. And so it looks like the Pacers will retain possession here. 1:22 left in the fourth. Clock at 6. Indiana needs to get a shot off. Jacks up a 3. Rebound by Anthony's got his third rebound tonight. And again, it's New York. Pacers leading by 5. And Hill backs him in. An amazing finish with a hand right in his face.
I tell you, he's really carrying a lot of the load offensively, and that's almost always good news for them.
Smith for 3. It's in! And now they trail by just 4.
What a quarter for him at the offensive end. He's ignored the scoreboard and continued to go out there and do his thing. They are not letting up, guys. They just keep coming out.
And I'd say that lead is too big to overcome at this point.
Jam by Stoudemire.
Flying high and throwing down the hard one-hander.
One of his favorite moves right there, guys.
And he does it as
Power punch right there. He has a... Highlight reel unto himself, guys. Wow.
That could very well be a contender for Dunk of the Year, and perhaps might make its way all over the internet.
I'm with you, Clark. That's a crowd pleaser if I've ever seen one.
It's good. And now they trail by just 4.
Nice pass. That was right on target.
And now they decide to foul intentionally. Gets the first. That puts them up by 5. He's off on the free throw and able to get that second one to drop in.
Not much time to work with. They need a basket here.
Yep, they've got to get a steal or foul to stop the clock.
Oh, that is a massive shot.
You know it is. He's stepping right into the spotlight.
And they stop the clock as soon as they can with the intentional foul.
And that's right. No other option but to foul and hope for some misses.
Yep, you got to extend the game here. Try to keep that clock from moving.
Time call here. The Knicks decide to talk it over. They're losing by 3. 17 seconds left in the game. 17 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Here's Anthony, the 10-footer. And the foul goes on Roy Hibbert. That's foul number 2 for him.
Yeah, he had not established position.
You know, I prefer the ref to whistle with a block when in doubt. I thought that was a good call there.
And out of bounds. As the Pacers gain possession. 8 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And there's the intentional foul. No choice but to stop the clock here. He drops the first one, and that gives them a 4-point cushion. Second one is good. They both at the line, and it's a 5-point game.
And it just feels like those are the free throws that probably put this game out of reach.
Here's Chandler. Nails it. You know, what an
advantage he brings to this offense, guys. I mean, being able to drain the three ball, that really can spread a defense and extend the defense as well.
So a close game sees Indiana take this one. It was tight, but they managed to come up with the win.
You know, nobody wants to lose a close game, Kevin. It's much better to win those tight ones.
Thank you for joining us for this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark, Stephen Doris, and the rest of the crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Last but not least, here is your Jordan Player of the Game, Paul George.
Another ending close one as Indiana on the road. Now 5 games in a row, you receive 5 reward points. And what a huge good game here in Indianapolis. Pacers beat the Knicks 110 to 108. Paul George got 38 points, 12 assists. George Hill got 22 and 10. On the other hand, New York Knicks with J.R. Smith with 25 points and the continuing Dawson DeBreeze hit the trigger button. Let's see J.R. Smith and again he kept Dawson DeBreeze by trigger buttons. The trigger button cheese by Dawson DeBreeze gonna keep continuing moving around as you can see. He continues. See J.R. Smith 25 points, Carmelo Anthony with 23, Amari Stoudemire with 14, Raymond Felton got 12-11. That was a close game here in Indianapolis. And next game, we're on their way in Atlanta. We're skipping Atlanta Hawks and the Brooklyn Nets. We're skipping check out. It's the Hawks will win over the Nets. Lou Williams got 33 points. Jeff Teague got 16. Paul Millsap got 14. Elton Brand and Al Horford. On the Brooklyn Nets side, Joan Johnson got 24. Paul Pierce got 22. Lopez got 18. And Garnett got 13. That will be interesting win for the Atlanta Hawks. And now for the main event of the day goes to one of the most good matchups in 2014 NBA season game. Here in Toyota Center, we got a 2 of Supreme Western Conference duo featuring Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook of the Oklahoma City Thunder take on Dwight Howard and James Harden of the Houston Rockets. That should be a most watched matchup. It's gonna be a showdown between the top 2 games. It's gonna be interesting. So that'll do it for now. The first game wrap up here in Toyota Center, here in Bankers Life Fields, Indianapolis. As the Pacers beat the Knicks 110 to 108. This is Andre Kenshin say so long for Bankers Life Fields in Indianapolis. We'll see you later for the second game here in downtown Houston for the Oklahoma City Thunder take on the Houston Rockets. It's time to say sign up and peace out. Goodbye and reminder, we'll see you later for the second game here at the Toyota Center in Houston for the OKC Thunder take on the Houston Rockets. Sign up and peace out. Goodbye and thanks for watching.